What's going on there, monkeys? Welcome to the next episode of George Amusement Park here at Coaster Monkey Studios, where we are building a realistic amusement park in PlanCo. And if this is your first time joining us, welcome! Welcome to Coaster Monkey Studios. If you like what you see here, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that fun little bell button to get notifications on what we're building. And if you are rejoining us, well, welcome back. Exciting times here. What are we looking? Well, question is, what are we looking at? You are probably thinking to yourself, oh my god, I missed so much. Did I miss an episode? No, you did not miss an episode. We had that fun little NVIDIA glitch where I lost an entire day's worth of video. Yes, I said it, a whole day gone. So there's that. But it's exciting because you didn't have to watch me place down 100 parking spots for the employee parking. And yes, that is what we are doing today. We are building an employee parking lot. So that's exciting. I think, I hope you guys dig it. If not, well, skip on to the next video. So this video, I've done my best to kind of clip it where it's relevant or irrelevant and keep what is as relevant as possible. I didn't want it to linger too much. I mean, it is a parking lot. But there's a lot of stuff that we do in this parking lot that you could take away from technique-wise to kind of build your own stuff. So we're going to get into that in this episode and kind of move on through the nuances that I've pulled together. And creating a parking lot, from what I've been told, I do it a little bit differently than other people. But then again, I don't know. So we're gonna work together on this one. So what am I doing right now? Well, I've used these amazing hydro pieces. Yes, they are hydro pieces. Who would have guessed? They are hydro parking lot spaces. And I'll put a link down below for you guys to check that out. These hydro parking spaces are awesome. They're perfect size. I mean, they could be a little bit wider, maybe, but they serve the purpose. They do exactly what needs to be done. They fit the PlanCo car, you know what I mean? And it saves you a butt ton of pieces. So thank you, Hydro, for that. These are awesome. And I use them a lot in this episode, in the next coming few episodes, because we are doing parking lots for the next, umpteen episodes, however many are going to be coming. I mean, there'll be stuff peppered in between, so it's not just going to be straight parking lots. It's going to be a parking lot, it's going to be bathrooms, it's going to be, we've got our shuttle station that we build, a lot of different things. It's not just going to be, oh my god, 5 episodes of a parking lot. So don't worry about that. Because I was worried when I was putting it together, and I was thinking, oh my god, this is going to be like 20 years of parking lots. Nobody's gonna watch this. I mean, those of you that actually do watch it now, I mean, there aren't many left. I mean, just kidding. So what I've done is I've kind of gridded out with the pathing tool where I want the lanes to be. Now this is odd shaped. The reason why I did this parking lot first, obviously, because we built the coaster so we can build this parking lot, right? And it's a very odd shaped parking lot, so I had to maneuver these driving lanes in odd ways and kind of fit the parking spaces in odd positions. So it does what it needs to do, right? What's the phrase? It does what it says on the tin, right? So that's what we went after here. And I think I achieved it. I hope I achieved it. I mean, it looks fairly decent at the end of the day. But I utilized, like I said, the pathing tool to kind of set the stage for where I wanted the lanes to be. And then I went back and I started filling it in, not only with the spaces, but then I did these cross-hatch patterns where, quote-unquote, not to drive. Again, I'm not a driver, so I'm only doing this based off of, satellite pictures. You know, I may be right, I may be wrong, who knows? You know what I mean? But I think I did a pretty good job. But, yeah, so with that being said, utilizing these, triangle pieces that are filled with our cross pattern of lines of where, quote unquote, not to drive, kind of sets the stage for the way we're setting up the gridding and the lines for this. So it's a lot of tedium. Any parking lot, I'm going to say this now, if you're building a parking lot, it is nothing but tedium. but it's just like the supports for our coaster, where when it's done, you step back and you just go, wow. I mean, it's just so satisfying to look at. As odd as that sounds, I the only way that I can equate it with being anything is like, okay, you know, spending 25 hours or 30 hours on a painting and have that painting just be lines. You know what I mean? Like, that's the only way that I can equate it. I know it's a really bad analogy, but you kind of get the point. So as we sit here and we place a ton of lines down, let's talk about a couple things going on with the channel and with Coaster Monkey Studios. So we've got a Discord. Yeah, don't forget about that. Discord, Coaster Monkey Studios on Discord, I should say. Yeah, it's super fun. We do voice chat sessions there. You know, where you know, we all get in, we build together, we build different stuff, which is pretty cool. We also just kind of hang out and chat and just act a fool. I'm not gonna lie, we are a bunch of foolish people. So join our Discord down below. We've got the link for that in the description for the video. It's really fun. Coaster Monkey Studios on Discord. We have a good time. Come join. You know, we're a crazy bunch of guys and gals that kind of just, you know, go ham. So come join, have a good time with us. As far as the channel goes, so for those of you that are subscribed, oh, I just hit my mic, sorry about that. For those of you that are subscribed, you know, we've gotten quite an interesting amount of polls that have come out recently. I'm kind of trying to decide the direction I want to bring the channel, right? So Zoo is not performing amazingly. Planet Zoo. If you watch Planet Zoo, comment below. Let me know if you like my Planet Zoo episode. Comment below if you don't like Planet Zoo, my Planet Zoo episodes. I mean, I'm trying to kind of trying to figure out what direction I want to take the channel. Do we keep Zoo and bring in another series like Parkitect? Do we get rid of Zoo and replace it with Parkitect? Do we get rid of Zoo and revisit Monkeylandia? Yeah, I said it. I've been itching to get back into Monkeylandia as of late. This past week, we posted a bunch of pictures, and they, you know, from Monkeylandia, and they got like a massive positive reception from people. So I'm thinking about going back to Monkeylandia. It's a thing. It's not a definite, but it's an idea. So there's a couple of ideas kind of floating around. So just something to think about for future on the channel, but we're definitely, you know, trying out some new ideas, kind of see what direction we want to bring Coaster Monkey Studios as a YouTube channel. But some exciting news. We are at just about 1,600 subscribers. We're almost there. We're getting there. We're almost there. We're about 26 people away. So in 2 weeks, we've picked up, well, 2 weeks as of recording today, we've picked up almost 100 subscribers. So thank you guys for the new subs. Welcome. I mean, this is an awesome time to be on YouTube, I guess. You know, people have been just joining this channel left and right, watching our series left and right. So thank you so much for those of you guys that have been watching. It's been super fun. So to chat a little bit about what's going on the screen here. So what we've done is we're setting up the stage for our corporate buildings that we've got here, right? So we've built out these, you know, these are the priority one parking spaces, right? So that's where the president, the vice president, and everybody, the CEO of the park would park and whatnot in that little nook that was there. And then there's a warehouse loading and unloading zone that we did in the yellow striping there. So again, this goes back to the whole ideology of infrastructure and kind of deciding where you want to put your stuff, right? So we had a preconceived notion in our head of what we wanted those 4 buildings to look like prior to building out the parking lot, because then we're able to identify, well, what's going to go there. You know, having a loading and unloading zone is very important for your park. I mean, you know, having access to get to that area. So as you see, obviously a truck wouldn't be able to drive under the coaster, so they would drive in, and this is why we made the roads double wide, right? They would drive in along that first parking lot we've created after the first parking entrance, quote unquote, right? Drive all the way through to this employee parking entrance, which we're going to build. You saw that in the preview, right? In the opening credits of what the guard station is going to look like. Excuse me. Excuse me. They then drive around over to this loading and unloading area that we've got here in the yellow on screen. And then they can drive back out the way back out the exit of employee parking, out the exit past where we're going to have our shuttle station, and then right out of the park, out of the tunnel. So really interesting way we set that up. And again, this all comes with that preconceived idea of what this parking lot would look like and what these roadways would look like. When we're talking about infrastructure, knowing where your loading and unloading zones are going to be and how those trucks are going to get to your warehouses and to the areas that would be or require loading and unloading. You know, if we had, let's say, a truck come in with a new coaster, for instance, where would that truck go? Where would that truck drop off coaster pieces? You know what I mean? And that's something for future that's going to happen on the other side of the wooden coaster. On the other side of the wooden coaster, which is going to be pretty cool. I'm thinking we'll probably have that over by the Gerschlauer, and we'll have like an open field of like coaster parts and like a graveyard. That's the word I was looking for. Amusement park graveyard. So bumper cars, you know, ride seats, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Train pieces, maybe train tracks. So we'll make like a little graveyard of everything that the park no longer uses or uses as quote unquote spare parts, right? So that could be super fun for future episodes and kind of what we're thinking about down the line. You know, I think when you do build up a park file and you're trying to create cohesiveness in your story that you're telling and kind of what each area of your park does, what's the meaning behind it, what's the need for it. Everything should have a need. Nothing should be placed just for the sake of placing. And I think that's something that I've learned in my studying of, you know, these different theme parks and kind of looking at overhead shots, looking at back of house, and being able to walk the back of house at Great Adventure, being able to walk the back of house of a couple of other parks that I've been to and kind of see what that looks like. You know what I mean? It's interesting to kind of pull that together, you know, and then you get those on-ride POVs of coasters that have, you know, little graveyards set up next to those coasters. Perfect example I can think of is if you do an on-ride POV of Titan at Six Flags Over Texas, it's literally on top of an entire like amusement park graveyard, you know, of all these different amusement rides that are just broken up and pieces of them are left all over the place. It's so interesting. So just something to think about when you're kind of building all your stuff out. Now for this area over here, I don't know. I think I do pretty soon, shortly. We're setting up the stage to build our security guard booths here going to the employee parking area or back of house parking or whatever you want to call it. Now, these are super generic. They're based off of a real life, you know, security parking booth. But I still feel like they look a little bit flat. So I may revisit these in a future episode. Because we are going to come back and we're going to do a one overpass of like everything before we hand this over for building of the next area to Aaron or Nerd Chacho, excuse me. Again, Nerd Chacho, if you haven't checked out his series, definitely check it out, or his channel. He's got some amazing stuff on his channel. The dude he's a genius when it comes to building. But yeah, so like I was saying, so before I hand over to him, we're going to do one overpass. And I think I'm going to revisit these buildings once I get over to this side, because I'm thinking they're a little flat. You know, the basic shapes that I used were the hydro beams, and they're great, don't get me wrong, but I'm at the point now where I'm kind of just like, okay, I think these buildings are a little bit too flat, right? They don't have any texture, so I'm going to come back and add texture to them. So it'll be a thing that'll happen when I do the one overpass on this side, I think. Now, what I did love about building these, I started with grid pieces, and I very quickly realized that the grid pieces were not the way to go. They were too thick. They were too bulky. They didn't create the shape that I was looking for, which is a very simple, small square. You know what I mean? But with enough room for one person to be inside, or maybe two people to be inside, and move around. Like it's not a cage, right? Now, when you're working with scale, or trying to manage the scale in this game, I think utilizing smaller pieces like the hydro beams work wonders. A lot of my builds really are just mostly, if not all, hydro beams with like occasional in-game pieces thrown in. I'm not gonna lie. And I think that's because from a scale perspective, in-game scale, it's massive, and I can't wrap my head around the PlanCo scale, to be honest with you, compared to the peeps in the game. I find it very, very interesting how they formulated the pieces, and they don't match the size of the peeps, and then you get these like obscenely huge doors and windows. I mean, it's just so odd. But these are things that we've been saying for years, or people have been saying for years. I've only been playing the game since June. So what is that? What am I on 3 and we're in March, almost April. So for 9 months now, I've been playing this game. And in the 9 months, I can tell you that, I'm very surprised. I'm very surprised at the PlanCo scale. But as you see here, what we did was we took grid pieces and kind of created a nice squared space, if you will, for the guard stand. And as you see, the pieces, they're very flat in texture, right? Which on one side I absolutely freaking love, right? Because they've got this matte, flat texture. It's not glossy, it's not shiny, there's no scuff marks on it like some of the other textures in the game. Whereas I probably wouldn't love it as much if it had any of that. You know what I mean? But in the same breath, because they're flat, they don't read as well. So I think what we want to do is when I come back and I look at this, I'm going to layer on some additional trim pieces around the windows. I'm going to layer in some horizontal trim pieces as well as vertical trim pieces to create almost like maybe like a pattern. A bolted pattern, something to that effect. I haven't figured it out yet, but when we revisit it, trust me, you guys will know it because it'll be in an episode. Hello. I'm sorry, I was totally zoning out on the amazing music. What do you guys think of the music? This is all new. I downloaded a whole bunch of new music. And I'm going to continue refreshing the audio, I think, the background audio. Because hey, we just need newness, right? We need newness. We need to be fresh. And I think that's what the music does, I think, for me personally. I love the sound of this music. It's just so calming and chill and laid back. And if you knew me, you would know that's me. I'm chill, I'm calm, I'm laid back in real life. If you join our Discord, you could chat with me and, we could have a hangout. But, yeah, so this is kind of what I vibe to, you know what I mean? And this music is just, it's so perfect. So this is the new music we brought to the channel. I hope you guys are enjoying it. I hope you guys dig it. I mean, I personally have been loving it. But again, that's just me. I hope you guys like it too. If you don't like it, let me know in the comments below. I mean, tell me my choice of music is absolutely horrific. I'll run with it. Trust me. And here you can see the texturing challenge you run into with the hydro beams and how they have that flat matte look to them. And I think it gives it a very Robloxy or kind of Robloxy kind of feel, right? See, now we put a horizontal trim around the base of these, and I think it needs like a midway trim. I think that's going to be our win. We'll do a midway trim, and then we'll do our horizontal vertical line pattern or striped pattern that goes across almost just to give it texture, to give it variation. I think that's the big piece of the puzzle we're missing. You know, there's no texture to it. Now, you know me in interiors. I've been loving doing these little interiors. If you haven't had a chance, check out the Blueprint special. Our Blueprint series, excuse me. Where we have been building blueprints for Lake George. And I've really been having a lot of fun with it. You know, it's for some reason not as received well as this series. But you can not only watch the blueprint getting built, but then you can download the blueprint on our Steam Workshop, on Coaster Market Studios Steam Workshop. So definitely check that out as well, if you would like. You know, I love doing these interiors. I love doing these little stands. Tell me if you like them. Tell me if you don't like them. If you don't want me to do these blueprints any longer, I greatly appreciate it. Tell me something. Let's have a conversation. All right, and as we get ready to wrap up this little episode, we've got the framework down for our employee parking lot. We've got all of that sorted out. We've got our guard entryway set up to get into the employee parking. And yeah, I'm super excited for this portion of the build as we now expand through our parking lots and kind of catch up to real time, kind of where we are in real time. But with that being said, thank you so much, guys, for joining. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more, and I will catch you next time here at Coaster Monkey Studios. Thanks so much for joining. Ciao.